What's up, y'all? It's the real DJ Red, and guess what? I'm working, excuse me, got gas in my chest. Need a hot ginger ale right now. I'm working on a project for a buddy of mine, DJ DW. I call him my protege because he started DJing under me. He started DJing under me, and he's seen how quickly with my controller case that I can connect everything, and everything is right there. I don't have to go inside the back of the controller case in order to make connections for the XLR outputs, microphone, power, the whole nine. So he said that he was getting another controller, the SR2, and I believe he had the SR before. He still has the SR. He bought the SR2, and now he wants me to do his case similar to how I have mine set up. So that's going to be for this video today. I'm doing a controller case modification. All right, let's go. Alright, so I pulled my table out here, and I'm going to be working on this table here. Let's look at everything that we got and store. Now, all of these products I've ordered from Amazon, and everything on here is going to make my life a lot easier than when I did my controller case. And forgive me if the camera is moving around a lot, because I want you guys to see this exactly the way that I'm seeing it. Okay, and that's the power strip, and let me get this one out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is go through everything so you guys can see exactly what is what and how it is done. And you can do it for yourself as well. Okay, so I'm going to start from over here. By his request, he wants 2 PowerCon wires made up. Okay, now you can buy these already made up on Amazon. He said he wanted a little bit thicker wire on there, not sure why, but I'll give it to him. So therefore we have 2 male 15 amp plugs. We have 2 male PowerCons. We have 1 female wall mount PowerCon. This is going to go on the back of the controller. Okay. We have this power strips here, and it also has 4, let me get in on it, 4 USB plugs on there. And it's grounded. Make sure you always have one that's grounded. We have I'm gonna just call it the way how most of you guys call it, the headphone jack for the phone, going to RCA. I think it's a 3.5 millimeter or 1/8 plug going to RCA. Stereo on both ends. Okay. Then this one, XLR female, going to quarter plug male. And by the way, all of these plugs are all balanced. And then we have 2 XLR male mounts going to XLR females. This is going to go on the back of the controller. This is going to plug up in. This is going to go on the case of the controller. This is going to plug up directly into the controller. Okay, so we got everything there. This is for this one here with the quarter is for the microphone. This one here is to plug up iPhone, tablet, or anything else, just in case your laptop shuts down. He always took that idea from me, which I appreciate that. And also being that he's playing on a SR2, It doesn't have the dual USB capability of switching between laptops, and he's been playing with one of his buddies as well. So this will also give him an option to keep music going without having dead air silence in between changing DJs. So he's able to do that with that. And of course the screws for that. And let's get to cracking. I'm glad that I got the space open right now because my brother is doing a wedding, my event. Let me switch this around. My event, however, I was supposed to do a day party today, and I'm going to do another video about this later on, but I need to get this out as well. I was supposed to do a video, a day party today, and the client, excuse me, even though that the client did pay a deposit at the time when I checked it, the client did pay the deposit. They did not let me know until yesterday afternoon, which is approximately about 24 hours before the event, that the event was going to be canceled. Let me just speak on this real quick before I get into that. So if that happens, everyone is saying, so, wow, what do you do? Well, I got the deposit, that was one thing. When I went back and checked into the payment history of this particular client, I realized that they had paid the entire amount in full. Do you give the money back? Here's my situation. No, I do not. For the simple fact, my contract clearly states you have up to 90 days prior to the starting time and date of the event. So if she would have canceled 90 days ago, maybe I would have been a little bit lenient on it. But you canceled the night before the event, and I reached out to her several times this week as to, hey, is everything still going on? Because the date has already changed once. That was one thing. Due to COVID, the date has already changed once, and within my contract, I was giving people the opportunity that if they had to postpone or what have you, that we can try to accommodate them for the next date if we are available, okay? So that was the other issue on that. We have already changed the date once. You paid in full. I've tried to contact this client several times during this week. Phone call, text message. The last thing that I was going to do was email, but I wanted to speak to the client directly. Hey, are we still on? And I did not get that. With that being said, they canceled out like 24 hours before. Do I refund on that? No, I don't. Now, if they would have paid only the deposit, my contract also states that they would have to pay in the full amount of the total cost of what we were charging, because technically we lost out. So that's what we do in that situation there. So back to our regular scheduled program. Let me get the controller case out of the SUV, get it up here on the table, and we're getting to working on that. Okay, so I got the controller case up here. What I did notice, let me see if I can slide this off. And again, I'm doing this with one hand, guys. Okay, slide this completely off. And what I noticed is I want to make sure that I do have it right. Okay, so it is the DDJ SR2. He said that he had the SR originally, and I believe the SR2 is a little bit deeper than the SR. So we're gonna have to make some modifications. We're gonna have to cut right here, which is about an inch. Cut this little corner out here on both sides, so that way the controller can sit flat and flush into the case. So that was gonna be the first thing that we do. Okay, so I already cut out the foam sponge on both sides, so now you can see the controller is sitting flat and flush the way that it's supposed to be. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the controller from the case, set it aside, and then on the back side here, is where I'm going to start marking out where I'm going to drill my holes as far as the PowerCon, the output, and the mic input. Not sure which direction I wanted to go with this. I really would have wished that this would have stayed on there because I can't utilize that hole. Everything that I'm putting in there is smaller than that hole right there. So I know most of it is going to go on this side. I'm not sure if all four are going to fit on this side. PowerCon, 2 XLR outputs, and the microphone input. I'll see if I can do over here neatly. So we're going to remove the controller from out of the case right now, and then we're going to mark the holes and then drill from there. Okay, so let's see, I got my light on so you can probably see it a little bit, but you can see the marks that I've done here for my holes that I'm going to drill, as well as my level line going across. I'm going to drill the first one out first and see if I have enough space for the second one. If not, then I'll move my marks down. Being that they're a inch wide or just shy of an full inch on there, I've marked them at a 1 inch, so that way it'll be 1 inch across. Again, this will be PowerCon, right XLR, left XLR, microphone input, and that should be it. So let's go ahead and do this now. I'm just going to drill a pilot hole in there real quick and see how it works. Okay, so real quick, I already drilled out the holes here, pilot holes. If you're doing something like this, yes, drill out the pilot holes first. Start off slow so the bit doesn't slide, especially I don't know about the Odyssey cases or any other cases, but these Pro X cases has this a different finish on there. It's not a smooth finish. It's some type of material that they use on there, probably for a mica or something. But all of the Pro X cases are like this. So I start off slow. Once I see that the hole is starting to go and it's not the bit is not moving, then bam, you can go from there. Now, I wasn't sure because I have this 1 inch bit, which is too big. I wasn't sure if it was a 1 inch or this one here, which is 7/8. Okay, let me show you something real quick because this is a speaker jack plate. Even though the speaker I'm not supposed to go in there, I'm gonna just drop it in there just to see. You see how that fits in there like that? Okay, so with this going in, the 7/8 work perfect versus the 1 inch is too big. So you can get you a 7/8 bit. Actually, you can buy the whole set, but make sure that you got the 7/8 in there because you never know what you might need the other ones for. So this 7/8, I'm going to go ahead and drill out the other holes now and go from there. Okay, let's get it going. All right, so I got the holes drilled. As you can see, it's a little close on there, but it's going to be fine with that. It's all wood. It's not going to damage anything. If any of it is showing, I will try to touch it up with a little bit of paint, which I do have. That'll work perfect on the Formica for the controller. Went on ahead and cleaned everything up. There was a lot of sawdust around from drilling out the hole, vacuumed the inside and everything. Gonna fix this on the inside, and then once I'm done, everything will look good. So let's get this going. Okay, so a little note before doing this. I had to drill out the holes just slightly bigger because of the type of XLR cables that's on here. They had some little nudges around the edges. Versus measuring this, you see how smooth it is around this side here. These here had some nudges on there, and I had to drill it out just slightly bigger. It threw it off just a little bit, but as you can see, I got everything lined up perfectly in the front. I got to re-vacuum the inside again, but everything is coming perfectly. The screws that they had in there wasn't enough, so I had to dig through my box, find all 8 screws, all of the 8 same screws on here. I didn't want to do no mismatch stuff, so I had to find all 8 screws the same to make it presentable. I'm sure he's not picky on it, but it's more of a thing with me. If you know, if I paid someone to do mine, I would want mine done as perfectly as possible. So I try to do others the same way. So we're going to go ahead and vacuum this up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got the power strip connected. I already cut the end off. I'm going to put some clips on here. That's going to go onto the PowerCon. The 2 XLR left and right is already there, and the microphone is already there. Everything is going to be zip tied. I'm going to stop for now. I got to clear all of this stuff up. My brother's getting ready to come back in here in a little bit from the wedding, and we got to get the trailer in here. So I'm pretty much going to take this home and probably work on it maybe tomorrow or so and finish it up and give it back to him by Monday morning. So I'm going to stop this for right now, and I'm going to come back and finish up the video tomorrow. All right, good morning. So I'm back out here. This time I'm working from within my yard because I know it's going to rain today sooner or later. And we're expecting that. Anyway, working from in the yard. Once I'm done, I'm gonna go drop it off. So what I've gotten done yesterday, just to recap, got all the plugs, wall mounts rather, mounted on the back side. I mean on the outside of the case here. What I'm working on today, I'm getting ready to put these connectors on for the power to connect to the PowerCon. Already zip tied these here, which are the XLR main out and the microphone input that is also on the back of the case. This is going to stay with Velcro. The power strip is screwed down, and I'm also going to finish up and put together these 2 PowerCon cords for him, and that should be it. So let's continue on with this here. So right now I'm just getting ready to put these connectors on. The connectors that I have were just some extra ones that I had laying around. But I have to take the plastic off because the plastic is making it too big to slide onto the PowerCon connector. I am going to heat shrink it, or at least try to heat shrink most of it once I'm done, just like how these are here. Depending on how it goes, I believe I can probably heat shrink it on there. So let me get to putting this together, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so as you can see, I have this done. I haven't heated up the heat shrink yet, and I did have to put tape around this because my heat shrink is not big enough to cover up the whole thing. I would have liked to cover up the whole thing, but excuse me, once I'm done with this heat shrink, we'll cover up part of the tape. That way, if he's doing anything back here, reaching back here for any other reason, none of the electrical wires are exposed for anyone getting shocked or anything. So I'm going to heat shrink that once I'm done. The reason why I'm going to do it when I'm done is because I'm getting ready to do these now, and these will have heat shrink on them, so I'll want to do all the heat shrink all at one time. And I think that's about it for now. So let's get on the PowerCons. Okay, so for this part here, you see I've already done one. Let me just put this disclaimer out there real quick. If you don't know how to do this, don't attempt to do it. There's 3 things that can happen. 1, you can plug this up and you can damage your equipment. 2, you can plug it up and you can hurt yourself. 3, you can plug this up, hurt yourself or die, and damage your equipment all in the same process. So if you don't know what you're doing, please do not do this. I just want to make sure I put this out there. So I already got one male plug put on. I'm going to do the second one now. This wire that I had left here is roughly about 18 and a half to 19 feet. I wanted to give him two 20-foot cords, so that way it's less likely that you would have to need an extension cord unless the outlet where he's plugging up at is going to be from a great distance. With that, I believe he's only plugging up the SR2 laptop, and he can plug in his two speakers right there as well if need be. Everything can come from one outlet. Maybe in the future, I don't know if he might want to, I might put maybe some 15 amp receptacles on the outside of this controller here, similar to how I have mine, and that way he won't have to go inside here at all. So let me get this other one done and out the way. I see it's starting to get a little bit cloudy, so I want to finish this and be done with it before the weather changes. Okay, so now I got both of these, the male ends done. They're put in real tight. I'm not going to put no heat shrink on that. Not sure if I'm going to do it on this other end either. I doubt I have to. So I'm going to pull this cord up. I'm going to cut it exactly in half so that way both cords are the same length. And then we're going to work on the PowerCons. Okay, so again, just another disclaimer, if you don't know what you're doing, please do not try to put together a PowerCon cable. As you can see, I already opened up the PowerCons, put my cover, which is going to lock into this clamp here that keeps the wire snug and tight up against the actual part that is connecting to the inlet right there, the female part right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and then we should be all done. As far as the heat shrink, no, I don't have to do any heat shrink around this. It is rubber tight around it. I want to say it's almost, there we go, it's almost waterproof because of how tight it is. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this together and then come back. All right, so I got one done there. Okay, everything is all neatly done on that one. And here's number 2, also done. I'm gonna check and see if I got any Velcro, and that way we'll put the Velcro on them, and that way it keeps it nice and neat. Wires are not just loose all over the place. I recommend doing that. I do it with all of my cables, all except for one, and that one is a 4 gauge. It's a big thick cable that I use for my distro box for when I'm doing big events. But that's all right there. So now what I'm going to do is put the controller back in the case, put the glide stand back in place also, and we're going to power it up, and I'll show you that it works. Okay, so I have to come inside real quick. You can see I got it plugged up in here. I did just turn this, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but right there, that's the light for the power strip. I'm gonna reach behind here. I'm gonna turn, as soon as I find it, turn the controller on. Oh, there's a power button on here. Hang on. Okay, there we go. And voila, we have power. Okay. Just in case you're looking at this here, they go dim. There's no laptop plugged up to it right now. Plus it's an LED light. The frames per second versus the LED light doesn't match up, so therefore it looks like it's blinking. Let me unplug this one. And let me get the second one here. So everything is done. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up and get it back to my client.